Hi guys, hope you guys are having an amazing Monday today. Happy Monday. I just wanted to make sure I kept my word to my students and did this recording of this call today just because I know I canceled class last night due to Father's Day. Y'all know I'm a wife now, so I definitely had to spend Father's Day with my husband. However, happy Father's Day to all of the amazing fathers out there. I hope your day was full of abundance and joy with your families. Um, I am getting ready to go over a couple of trades. I'm going to go over GU. I'm going to go over where we are in the market currently. And then I'm also going to talk about the trades from last week. I'm not going to spend too much time on them, but I feel like they're very important to just understand entries better because sometimes when prices and consolidation, some people don't know when do I get in, when do I get out, how do I know where the market's going? So all of these like very structural steps are super important into helping you guys so that you make very informed but also confirmed decisions before you execute your positions. Remember, you need confirmations and confluences always. Never just hop in the market just because. So, one thing that I do want to preface, and I know I've said it many times, but I feel like I have to say it on every call going forward. I do not trade for people. Please do not send your money to anyone pretending to be me. I'm so sorry that I even have to keep saying that. However, it's something that's important to me so that none of you guys get scammed. Trust and believe I've had lawyer after lawyer cease and desist, but it's really hard to cease and desist people that are out of the country. So please do your due diligence. I, again, do not trade for anybody, and I only have one website. I will never reach out to you via Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, none of these other forms of communication. If somebody's reaching out to you, it 100% is not me. And again, I only have one website, so do not purchase or send money to anyone with anything external than the website link below, okay? So let's go over GU to start with. Well, first off, please make sure you guys are in the Telegram group so that when I do send updates on different trades and things like that, you guys are able to get the notifications, okay? So, well, actually, we could start with well, yeah, we'll start with GU. Okay. So this was a screenshot that I sent out on Telegram on June 11th. So yes, Tuesday, I think. Or Monday, actually. I don't know, one of them. But anyway, so where we were in the market, actually, let's go to the current real market. So where we were in the market last week, okay, we had pushed off of a lot of momentum here. So I'm gonna put this in replay mode. We pushed off of a lot of momentum um from that previous Friday. And what I told people was to be mindful of where you are in the market because anytime we push off, we know anytime we have an impulse, we need a correction, right? That's common sense, right? That's how the market moves, impulse, correction, continuation. But remember, the most important thing in the market is not if it's going to happen, it's understanding when things are happening so that you don't get in drawdown. So even though we knew that, okay, my expectation, I wanted price to literally push to here. At some point, I knew I wanted the market to sell. But remember, we talked about wait for price to push to this purple zone first, then look to see if it's going to sell. Or if we had momentum here, because remember last week we talked a lot about momentum and exhaustion. Okay. So the first thing was to make sure price did not keep pushing further down because again, we had a lot of momentum on Friday. So we wanted to make sure price wasn't going to go to this negative 61.8 before people just hopped in and buy right here. Because at this point, the only real confirmation we have is that we're sitting at our negative 27 and then our zone. But remember with a zone isn't just like a line. When it comes to zones, price can push anywhere in that zone that it wants to. Sometimes it rejects right at the zone. Sometimes it pushes further into the zone as we see, I'm gonna draw here, as we see here, as we see here. Here, we rejected at the top of the zone, and we had a trend line to confirm that rejection. But when you don't have anything else to confirm it, price can push as deep into the zones as it wants to. So it's something to be very mindful of. So again, what I'm doing as I'm going over these trades is kind of try to teach you guys like things in situational awareness so that when you're in them, you know how to react to them in real life. Okay. So we had no confirmation of entry. And remember last week when we talked about, make sure you guys go rewatch the Zoom call. Somebody had asked me, okay, Jessica, so where will you draw your trend line to know when to get in? And remember I said like, we don't really have one that we could have drawn at that point, because if we look at this structure here, let's say we drew a trend line here, right? This is really just consolidation. Like this isn't really a trend line of structure. This is just a consolidating area. So I'm emphasizing these areas because these are real life market scenarios where like sometimes people will take entries way too soon and be in so much drawdown just because they didn't understand like kind of where they were. So understanding if you come off of strong momentum, make sure that momentum is done before you execute your positions. And then also understand that you need your confirmations to get into the market. Okay. So again, I sent this out. Well, we'll go ahead and finish. We can play. So I sent this, let's just go to this. So I sent this out on, again, one of these days, June 11th. And again, this is where we were on Sunday. It wasn't until I had more structure form that I actually got to the point where I drew that actual trend line. But again, price had to form before I did that. All right. So I have this kind of step by step. So again, we did push into our negative 61.8, which was also in this zone. All right. Then here, I drew this trend line across the top. I have 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. I do know and very aware that this broke above right here. But again, you want to draw it on the majority of price. So me connecting 2 points or me connecting 1 point, let's say I just connected 1 point here, it still would have worked for the opposite side, but this is just cleaner. And also we have, again, multiple points. So the majority of price. So we have this coming here. Price broke, it retested. So you see step 3 I had here. Trend line break and retest for entry. My structure is drawn. So point A, point B, price pulls up, hits negative 27 here. Okay. If your first entry was missed of structure, structure gave a test of resistance and retested it as support for another entry mechanism. So we talked about red box, blue box, green box before. Again, you have to be experienced to use it because you 100% can get faked out if you don't understand the structure that you're looking for. So we have test of resistance that is broken and then retested as resistance. I'm sorry. Yeah, retested as support. My bad. So resistance broken, retested as support, continued higher to this negative 27 right here. We ended up retesting it. Now, again, those retests, we have our exhaustion to confirm that price is pushing further. So that's something always that's important. Make sure you have either momentum or exhaustion. Understanding momentum and exhaustion is super important for your future positions. So I literally exited. This was my exit that I had originally told you guys about. Like I was looking for price to push here, then look to see where price is going from that point. Because remember, when you're in these consolidating areas, price can consolidate as much as it wants to. We do not control the market. We only react to the market. So remember, I told you guys, once price gets there, look to see ultimately what's going to happen for your next point. So from there, let's go out of replay mode. After we broke through all of this, we ended up having a break and retest of this zone. Delete. Let's just delete these. We ended up having a break and retest of this zone here. In addition to this momentum pushing out, break and retest of this zone here, and then pushed further up, okay? Now, when we had our push up, remember, all right, this is something I want y'all to remember that's key. Remember, right here, we're in minor structure because price was only creating minor structure. Remember, when we're in these consolidating areas, you have to take it step by step. At the point in which price broke and retest out of that zone, the only thing it did was, and it was news, but remember, news always pushes the market again to structure. So let's just look at sort of 1 hour on this, go to auto. The only thing price did was push price to the negative 61.8, the previous negative 61.8 from this fib structure that we had throughout here on our higher time frame. So remember, we were consolidating through here, and you can trade in consolidation because that is how the market moves, right? Like when we don't have our impulse corrections continuation, this is still money to be made in these ranges. But the problem is you do not know, none of us know when something is going to happen, okay? We don't know when. Our confirmations confirm when once our confluences align. So again, price literally pushed to this negative 61.8. And then as you guys see later on in the week here, Wednesday, that's when we had like really our big fall for the rest and the remainder of the week. Then we had negative 23. I mean, we had 23.6s. I mean, negative, wait. Yeah, we had 23.6 pullbacks all throughout. So the continuation of our fib structures, we did have one structure pullback, 38.2. And then y'all know your 38.2 is your aggressive for my students. So put this in replay. Oops. All right, so that was 23.6 continuation. So we put that on here, point A, point B, 38.2, aggressive push down. Then price retested this zone again and then continued further. So now let's just go out of replay mode to kind of see where we are now. Drag this down. This negative 61.8 right here. Let's actually go back to my trading charts so we can see everything. So first off, on minor structure, I should have kept that on there while I was on 15-minute, but I'll still draw it right. Well, oh, I still am on 15-minute. Okay, so we have this going up right here. Then we got this going down right here. So we have divergence. That's your first indication. Now, I haven't gotten in a trade for the week. I'm just showing y'all this. The trades I got in were over here. And then I had reached my goal by the time this got to this zone. I reached my goal on that because I traded GU in conjunction with gold. So I'll show you guys what I'm looking for. This would have been your confirmation for this though. So you have your divergence right here, your negative 61.8. So as you guys see, literally price is buying. When we have our divergence, we're expecting to buy, especially when we're at our negative 61.8. But the thing that I want y'all to be mindful of is, remember, on the overall higher time frame, I was looking for that main sell on the higher time frame. Remember, that could take a while to happen. But if we look at where we are now, right? This fib extended, we still don't have, like, we're not going past the 23.6. So this could easily continue further down. What I'm leaning for, which I need confirmation for, again, I need confirmation for, what I'm leaning for. Now, of course, you know, first step is to make sure this breaks out of this zone. So price could easily, I'm going to give you guys scenarios because we don't have confirmation right now. And let's actually, this is kind of a steep trend line, so it might end up being invalid later on, but let's just see what price does. I want to see if we get something like, and remember, you want to trade what you see, not what you think. But because we got this push up from here, so we have this divergence, we have this break from this here, we had an impulse up. Look to see if this does a test, red box, blue box, green box in regards to retesting this area to continue. This will be your first thing. Then you will wait to see structure, okay? Then look to see if that sells. All right, that would be your first point. And then if that breaks this purple, then you see this zone that I have higher. This zone here, that would be your next area to see. So the same thing, look to see here or that. Now, key things, okay? If this demand, or not demand, but let's say we get a lot of momentum after this, okay? Because remember, this is also a minor structure divergence, and then also a 23.6. So remember when I told you you want to dot your I's and cross your T's? Based off of structurally, I could see price pushing here and here, because again, we're still somewhat in this consolidated range. However, because we haven't pushed beyond at 23.6, and because we're in this minor structure divergence, if this respects and we have like some momentum or exhaustion, I mean, we have like exhaustion at the top of this once this consolidates a little bit. If we have exhaustion at the top of this and then like some momentum form, like mind you, it's 3:37 p.m. right now. We're not really expecting much. But as the night, as we go into like London session and stuff like that, you will see that entry once it presents itself. Okay. You'll see the entry once it presents itself. But we have to wait on our confluences first. So that's kind of giving me my bias. Because remember, long term, I still am looking for that overall sell. But it's just, is price going to pull back and then drop? Or can we get the sell from the breaking of this kind of structure that we're in right now? All right, understood. Let me finish deleting these. And it's kind of the same thing for, really, it's kind of the same thing for gold. I think GU is what, I mean, y'all know I love me some GU, so that's that. But if we had to look at gold, we didn't have the continuation of that push on gold because we had our confirmation for what we were looking for prior to that happening. So gold pushed down to the negative 27 on this. All right, y'all see this? Gold pushed down to our negative 27. We really had everything that we needed and wanted to happen on gold happen. We had strong divergence here. So we had divergence on gold. We did not have divergence on GU. So GU continued selling. Gold literally broke, retested. This was my entry. So remember I told y'all even earlier this week, like I did get in a little bit of drawdown, but I knew my overall move that I was looking for. And my move for both GU and gold, my initial moves on gold, I was looking for price to push to this green zone. GU, I was looking for it to push to that minor purple zone. So we had our break and retest here. All right. Now I got in a little bit of drawdown right here because as you guys see, price literally tested, then just pushed down to retest that negative 27. But I didn't have any structure breaks. So I literally stayed in my position. So that's something just to notate for people that get anxiety and stuff like that. At these points, just always go back to the market. Did I break structure? If not, stay in your positions, okay? Stay in your positions. So then we ended up having a higher high of structure. So at that point, that is where I kind of started to look at that test, break, and retest of price, because once we had that higher high, I drew a zone. I mean, I drew a fib. I'm gonna actually delete these because I'm not reading them anyway. So, yeah, so we ended up having a higher high. All right. So at the point in which we have a higher high, always like I always say, okay, price has to pull back. Just like we just talked about a second ago, impulse correction continuation, price always has to pull back. So we had that impulse up of minor structure. We know it's not a big impulse on a major. Okay. Boom here. Then what did price do? Pull back. That gave us that blue box. So test of support, broken, retested. I mean, test of resistance, broken and retested at support. And then right here, you see here, blue box established retest, previous entry support as resistance. And then this was your second entry opportunity. So if you didn't enter here, this would have been your next entry. Also, just always remember, again, red box, blue box, green box is more for experienced traders, but the trendline breaker retest is always comes through for a novice. After entry here or here, then ultimately you're looking for it to hit to your take profit, which would be that negative 27. I exited the market right here. I did not ride it up all the way to here, even though I could have gotten way more money. Like this is something where I talk about people just being understanding your trading plan and following it and not being greedy and being disciplined because yeah, price literally pushed way higher, right? But what if it didn't? Do you know what I'm saying? So you only want to trade what is confirmed. The market moves nonstop all the time, but I don't care about nonstop all the time. I care about protecting my equity that's in my account. So the only thing I had confirmed, I knew that price would literally push to my take profit area for my fib structure that was confirmed in that actual area. Okay. Then ultimately, it's back on auto. Ultimately, out of that, we ended up consolidating from where we are. Um, this looks like, I mean, honestly, this is literally sitting on this zone right now. So just like with gold, like you really have to take these structures step by step because I mean, I'm just not in the business of like I do not lose trades because I don't take anything I'm not sure about. So because we're literally in this consolidating area, like of course, on all my trades, on all my trades on anything, I'm always looking for my confluences and my structure before I look for anything else. So this was the gold that was in Telegram, and then this is the actual positions. And then again, now we're literally sitting in the zone. So we need a structure break of something. Now, I do want to say I am looking for I actually was looking at news earlier. So Tuesday, core CPI. Wednesday, we got GBP inflation rate and producer price index, followed by interest rate decision for Bank of England. So be mindful of those two. Um, But as you guys know, like your technicals always lead you anyway. Well, fundamentals are the reason as to why the market is moving and what's happening, but you will always be able to see like a level of support or a level of resistance and know like something technically, something is getting ready to happen fundamentally from your actual technicals. Also, with gold, remember that what I was saying about China and China being like literally for the past, I would say year, China's been one of the biggest purchasers of gold. So make sure you guys are paying attention to all of your structure. Okay. And in regards to China, they have a lot of news, I think, coming out on, hold on, let me just look. Trade economics. I haven't looked today. I looked yesterday when I was looking at everything. Let's look at the calendar. Um, okay, there isn't any Chinese news coming up. Okay, cool. So we're clear on that. But sometimes when there's China, like I don't trade Chinese news, of course not, but that's just something I just want to notate. Sometimes when you have like big Chinese news events, it sometimes can affect gold. Now, remember, I don't look at those as end all be all because just like with the DXY, the dollar can move, but that doesn't mean that every single currency that has the dollar attached to it or gold for that matter, even though it's a commodity, when we trade gold USD, like that doesn't necessarily move just because that singular independent thing is doing something. However, it is always good to just be abreast and understand it and understand what's going on and why things are happening. So that's pretty much it. I hope everything was clear. If y'all have any questions, just write them down and then we'll talk about them on Sunday. And then I will see y'all next week. Okay, bye guys.